Hi friends, I hope you're doing well today. Today we're going to take a look at the work of Adam Newsham. Just a great guy. I'm just kidding, I've never met him, but his photos are fantastic. And I want to take a look at his work before the internet gets taken down. Before I jump in, I do want to thank Musicbed for supporting this channel. Musicbed is a fantastic place to grab music for your videos if you make videos and need music for them. It's also a great place to listen to music for free with no ads. You can choose to listen to only instrumental music if you like, and I find that to be great for productivity. And I was just, studying. I guess I do study things, but not like in a, not like in an academic setting. Anyway, let's jump in, shall we? Thank you, Musicbed. If we look at his profile, we see that he is from St. Louis and that he shoots film. And if we look at his photos from a 30,000 foot level, we see that they have a rather small town vibe. They have a rather lonely vibe. They are capturing a lot of really bizarre spaces. They're incredibly nostalgic to me personally. I grew up on the east side of the United States in a small town, and all of these scenes are very familiar to me, even though St. Louis is not necessarily that. If you are not from the United States, how does this feel to you? Is this familiar at all? Is it just bizarre? Is there any nostalgia involved? If we look at his first photo, we see a graveyard scene. Looks like it was taken in the winter. We have leaves on the ground, rather frosty trees, and this is something that I very much relate with from where I grew up. One of the things you see in his photos that is a consistent theme throughout his work is that he will establish a subject, and that subject will help pull his photo together. There tends to be this subject directly in the middle of the scene that all the rest of the scene builds itself around. So you start off on that subject in the middle with your eye, and then you can wander around. It's a great way to construct a photo. There's often the center weightedness to his photos, and I absolutely love that. So in this scene, this is a great example. We have a bunch of tombstones, but this one in the center here is particularly ornate, kind of golden looking, and it pulls your eye to it, even though there's a lot going on. This is also something that I'm very familiar with. You would find plenty of kind of dark department stores with these types of lights on the roof and mannequin heads with wigs on them. I wonder if can you purchase the entire mannequin head? We have a scene from inside some sort of bedroom. We have a window in the middle with a very yellow curtain with a white curtain with flowers on it on top of it. We have a chair in the middle that's a pretty unique, interesting chair. That is sort of the subject here, as well as the window. We could take both of those and call those the subject, but once again, we have this center weightedness, and your eye is very much drawn towards them. And then you have the rest of the scene built around it. And his photos are rich with character. One context point that he put in here that I love is that we have the bed, so we know it's a bedroom. Very nice. We have a scene from, I believe it was inside his basement, if I remember the description correctly. Still life in my basement. Yep, there we go. Very interesting basement you have there, Adam. I'm intrigued by all of these objects. We have a large wrench. We have some sort of very interesting vase experience. There's a feather sticking out of it. Could you put a plant in there? A globe? A power cord hanging down? A skeleton hand hanging from the wall? They're all lit up by this one little point of light. Looks like it's coming from a window. Nice warm point of light. The film really accentuates that type of feeling. And the film really adds to the nostalgic vibe as well. We have another photo of a place called Sherpa Studios with some red doors with I think subwoofers, like a grid of subwoofers on the front, which is awesome. This is acting as our subject, right? Our eye is drawn to this, the doors, and then the mountain logo here. Extremely center weighted photo. Then we have a photo from inside, and he does a lot of inside shots, and I think that's fantastic. I don't do a lot of inside shots naturally, but I want to. And so I'm intrigued by other people who do that well. In the middle, we have a very strange table that is a table lamp hybrid lamp going straight through the middle of the table. Not much place to put a laptop or anything. I'm not really sure exactly what you would do with this. Just a very character-rich environment. We have some Christmas lights coming in from the bottom left corner and then moving in and wrapping around the bottom of the table. Rainbow poster on the side. The lamp here is the subject. This graveyard is very different than the previous one. In this one, we have a graveyard that is right next to one of those big, like strips of land that they cut out for giant power lines to run through. So we have these giant power lines, and so you have this nice juxtaposition happening here. It reminds me of that juxtaposition that was had in a previous video where there was a church and then there were nuclear cooling towers in the background. So it reminds me of. This one's a little bit different. It's not center weighted, but the subject is well established. We have tombstone near us. So these photos they may not feel that thoughtful to the untrained eye, but they're extremely thoughtful photos compositionally speaking. Another indoor scene. We have a poster with what looks like the sun that's on the Japanese flag, and then a lighthouse on it. This is something that you would find maybe you would find it at one of these old stores, or maybe you would find it online on Etsy or something. This is something I've never seen before. It's not something that is a commonly distributed poster from my knowledge. The reason I say that is because that level of uniqueness helps it become a stronger subject. A bird cage on the left. I don't know if you guys ever had like friends who had birds, but there were just certain types of people that would have birds. This is what their houses would look like. And not a bad thing, just is what it is. Beautiful light coming in. The film look is wonderful here. Nice, almost greenish shadows, and the highlights are this yellowish color. And then we have a fish tank, another cage on the ground for some sort of other animal, maybe some sort of snake. We have some sort of library scene, and in the background we have some big metal filing cabinet type thing. Not sure what that holds. We have a streak of light on the ceiling going down towards there. So this whole scene is kind of a leading line to that subject, which is the filing cabinet. These are scenes that he's capturing because he's taking the time to get out and explore and get inside places, like walk into these random stores. Unless he's just got a lot of connections with old stores, he's getting out there. He's putting his feet on the ground and finding these places. He seems to be a disciplined explorer. We have an old house, and there's a piano in the middle with two lamps on top. Very symmetrical looking scene, very cozy setting, and you could sit down and play. That's an organ. I'm sorry, I said it was a piano. That's an organ. What you have is a scene that could get very visually cluttered very quickly. But what he's doing is he's going, where are the things that can make this photo organize itself? That's what he's so good at. I love this. You have the carpet. Oh my gosh. I know this carpet. I don't know if you guys know this carpet, but I know how this carpet feels and how it smells. What is the subject? I would argue the subject is that ladder, right? Makes everything work. There was one I found. Hold on, let me scroll back. Yeah, this one. I love this shot. Okay, so this is a scene that you would see very often if you grew up in the Southeast. You would see a row of trees in a field leading up to an old white house. And that's what we have here. Now, this is a particularly interesting old white house. It's just a big rectangle, and it's a very symmetrical house. The entire scene is rather symmetrical. We have these trees. It's not perfectly symmetrical, but enough for our minds to go, oh, this is symmetrical. We have a mossy brick path. It doesn't even look like there's a driveway to the house. It looks like you have to maybe get out of your car and walk down this brick path to the house, which is very interesting and probably a bit annoying for groceries. And then we have a well on the right hand side, just poking out from behind a tree, a little Easter egg. Old well, wintry trees in the background. Beautiful photo. You feel it as much as you see it. We have an old person's home. We have a very ornate lamp directly in the center of the frame, a walker, we have an old chair, an old ornate bed frame. I mean, like, just an absolutely crazy looking bed frame. This looks like a scene out of like a Coen Brothers film. Green carpet. Oof. Wow, what a heavy scene. Old red car parked in front of an old red, matching red brick, what looks like maybe a factory or warehouse building. I love this one too. So we have a hardware store interior scene, just a bunch of clutter, very interesting clutter, but a bunch of clutter. And I would say that this TV acts as our subject, and then you have all this nonsense around. You got a fan, you got a brush, you got a bunch of saws, you got some paint sticks, you got a hole in the wall. Amazing scene, amazing find. Sometimes they'll take photos of caskets, and we see one here, and this is obviously a funeral home scene, very yellowish scene. Once again, the film is adding quite the aesthetic to this, and it feels a little bit like, I've been in these environments and they feel so off. They feel so awkward and off, and he captured this really well. I mean, even the slight crookedness of the shot, it's really beautiful. You can really feel the way he sees the world through his photos. There's another one that I wanted to show you guys. This one is absolutely nuts, if I can find it. It's another one with a casket in it, and it is scary. It's a scary photo. Here it is. Oh my gosh, this was nuts. So we have what looks like an underground scene. We have a casket sitting in like a brick basement. This is a place that if you showed up in this place, like if you just happened to accidentally take a wrong turn and end up in this place, you would be terrified. We have a pillar, like a brick pillar with a sign on it that says fallout shelter. So a fallout shelter with a casket in it. I think that's all the elements you need for a very scary movie or video game plot line. Very intense photo. So we have a beautiful beach scene. Looks like a quiet beach. I love a good quiet beach. I love a good quiet beach that's not too hot, particularly in the morning or in the evening, not midday. People who like to go to the beach midday are ill. We have an umbrella in this scene, just a little bit off center. He broke his center weightedness rule. One of the things that really makes this scene very unique is the umbrella, because the umbrella is this old looking crazy designs on it. Looks like it's made of fabric, like an old fabric, and there's these little what would we call these little ropes little tiny ropes, kind of like an old blanket. I love it. It makes the photo feel distinct and interesting. This one was taken in Pensacola, Florida. I remember looking, and I guess maybe there's some alien enthusiasts in Pensacola. We have some palm trees in the foreground, and then we have a building with a UFO on top of it. I think you could maybe sleep up there. That's what I'm gonna guess. You could sleep up there in that UFO. And then we have a door with an alien in the window. You have to kind of look for it and find it. Once again, dead center. And then we have this like little Easter egg, kind of like the well in the previous one. Easter egg of the alien looking at us through the door. All right, that'll be all. Thank you guys. Oh, I should not do that here. Hold on. Okay, that's it for this one. I hope you found them inspirational. Were these photos nostalgic to you? How did they make you feel inside? I have a Lightroom preset collection coming soon. Want to remind you guys about that. And if you enjoy what I do here, if you would hit the like button and/or subscribe, that would mean a lot. I hope you guys have a lovely day. Goodbye.